Yo, what's going on? It's the NOC, the Nerds of Color. And we are back with another ShoPowSho. It's your boy, Kuya P, the Babinka boy, the Adobro, the leader of the Holla Holla Homies in the center gang, aka Patrick Michael Strange. And of course, I do this every time. Well, with the exception that they're busy, but the amazing Ates, they've been busy here and there. But the amazing Ates, my Dinaguan Destroyers, my Sisig Supremes, I love them so much. Kataphorric and Viva Valentina. What's up, ladies?
Hey.
How y'all living today, man? Looking beautiful. And you're together today.
Yes. I made the trek.
Awesome. Well, so happy to see you guys. You know, we always have fun doing this, and it's also a bit of a therapy session. So it's that time of the week, y'all, for our therapy and our Filipino culture enlightenment. You know, because we just get rejuvenated whenever we celebrate our people. And today, for me personally, I gotta say I'm celebrating a cat that I've enjoyed for a very long time. This brother's been getting a lot of my checks, as it were. Because I like fashion, I like clothes, and of course, I love my people, I love my culture, I love the Philippines. And this brother started up a fashion line called PST Gear. It's been known at one point as Pacific Standard Time, but to me, it will forever be the Pinoy Street Team because I rep for my culture, I rep for my Pinoys. The amazing Michael Pablo, Big Kuya Mike, as it were. Well, that's what I'm going to call him.
Hey, thanks for the introduction, man.
We're going to be bringing him in. Everybody, you know, we're just bringing him in now. I'm going to put everybody on the screen now. There he is. Kuya Mike. We're going to send out the air horns. Kuya Mike, Michael Pablo, bro. I've been a huge fan of you for a long time. Like I said, I've sent many check your way because I had to get my sun and star necklaces in every color. I had to get my hats, my lids on, my hat game right. I probably have about 15 hats of yours. The shirts, the jerseys, bruh. Like I said, I had to send checks away, and there's probably a few new pieces in my gear that I need to get lined up because now you partnering with my man Easy Mill as well, man. Just killing it, bro. How are you doing today, brother?
Hey, I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. So thankful for your support, and we're nothing without it. And without the people's support, we can't do it,
Hey, man. Well, we thank you for what you're doing, man. And of course, when you put out product that we love and is our culture, we're the fam's gonna support. We come out when Pinoys here just a little bit, just even if you're a little percentage, because I'm half Filipino, and if we find out like, oh, you just got a little bit, oh, we gonna support you. That's how we come out for our people. So with you.
any part Filipino, it's cool with me, you know what I mean? And even if you're not, but the culture, I think that goes leaps and bounds as well, because I have family members that aren't Filipino and they just rep once they know the culture and they know that we're all about love and respect and discipline and trying to do better for our family and take care of our elders and respect to our elders, all that kind of stuff. That really goes a long way with people,
Oh, hell yeah, man. And again, like I have a lot of friends from Guam. A lot of your stuff is very island oriented. So a lot of our Pacific Islander, just island cats in general. So you're not only doing it for the Pinoys, but you're doing it for everybody. And again, with people that have respect for the culture, you're showing and shining, man. I love it, man. So I'm going to throw it to Miss Viva Valentina, who's going to kick us off with our first question out the gate. But again, props, and we'll get back into it. But we want to get to your story of how it all came to be and then how PST Gear was born and all that. So let me throw it to Miss Viva Valentina. Go ahead, Tina.
So we always want to know, where are you from? But
oh, man.
Where are you really from? Where are your parents from?
Well, I'm from San Diego, California, born and raised. My mom and dad are, of course, from the Philippines. I'm the typical Filipino bred nurse raised, Navy raised dad. So I had a nurse as a mom, and my dad was in the Navy, and we got stationed here in San Diego, and that's how we landed here. So my dad's from Malabon, and my mom is from Dagupan City in Pangasinan.
I love it. Yeah. So going along with that, I like to tag with Tina's question is, before we celebrate you, I like to also, I always think, and I know for myself, my daughter, and I know you have your children as well. They're the manifestations of our hopes and dreams and everything that we want them to be and all that. So as we celebrate you, I'd like to know a little bit about them. So you told us where they're from and how they came here. Do you know a little bit? Can you give us just some insight into them, and maybe if you know a little bit about their love story and what brought them here to America?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I know as far as the opportunity came in a rise to come to a different country to do better for their family. And both of them came here on that whim to support their family and hopefully bring them to the United States, which my mom had 11 brothers and sisters, and she successfully brought them all over under, the I'm not sure what it was called, but I know there was a certain thing to bring over your siblings. And my dad did the same. There was 3 of his siblings, and they met in Norfolk. He was stationed in Norfolk, Virginia, and she was a nurse. And they went out one day and fell in love. And I know he got stationed in Chicago, and they moved over to Chicago for a minute. Then after Chicago, they came over to landed in San Diego, and just we stayed here.
All right, I love it, and that Virginia connection is kind of dope, being what we talked about earlier.
Virginia is for lovers. Virginia is for lovers.
Hell yeah, I love it. So, still staying on them for a little bit because, again, like I said, I think a lot of what is in them carries on to us. Is from parents to their children. Were they into fashion or really into the culture as much as you are, and how you kind of like brought it along with what you're doing? What do you think you gained from them as a son?
Well, as far as a son is, they wanted me to be a nurse or a doctor or a lawyer. And I didn't had none of that. So I think they gave me best as, perseverance and trying to find a different way what they didn't want, because I was so rebellious. Which led me to DJing. I DJed for 25 years with a successful group here in Los Angeles and San Diego, and which is Legend Entertainment. So I did that for a long time after I got out of school and went into the fashion career. So I was supposed to be a nurse, but I got dropped out of nursing schools. Kind of funny. But,
okay, well, we'll dig into that. We're going to take a pause there. We'll take a pause there because I want to dig into all of that and how that all kind of manifested. So we'll start back young. So you were born here in the States, or did you come over?
I was born here in the States, in Maryland.
Okay. Born in the DC area? Okay, Maryland.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, Andrews Air Force Base to be exact. So,
okay. Close connections. It's crazy. Yeah. I used to work over there here and there, bro. So wildin'. It's crazy how connections are. Okay, so grew up here in the DMV. What was it like, man, growing up as a young kid? What would your parents tell us about you? What were you into as a child going into, your school years? What were you into, all of that?
I was just all into, I was just wild, man, a wild child. Just a first generation Filipino here. And I was into everything like hip hop, like breakdancing, popping. When I was growing up here in San Diego, breakdancing, popping, locking, biking, anything to do with the streets and being outside as a kid, it was a lot different. There's a lot of different, a lot of difference being growing up back in the 80s. You're kind of finding yourself,
Hell yeah.
We didn't have no real identity or really anyone to look up to. You had to kind of create that or vision it later on, after you realize, oh shoot, this is not a game,
Definitely. Okay. I dig that, man. That's very much like my own childhood, get into music and hip hop and all that. So, did you dabble with, like any sports or any other activities as well that would be inklings of what you'd like later get into, like say fashion? Were you like designing stuff? Were you a little bit of an artist too back then?
Oh yeah, always an artist. Loved art class, loved drawing. Just didn't realize that you can manifest it and sell it. Once I learned I could do that, it was, and I could sell it at a certain amount. I was like done. I was like, I could do this, and just certain people were put in my way. um, along the way, along the path, and just helped me get there, you know. And I've been doing it ever since.
Okay. Okay. So, okay. Well, with that being said, then, you know what I'm saying? Because you were growing up in San Diego, and
Yes.
and I had a lot of fam in San Diego. You know, we got a large Filipino population over there. Shout out to National
great.
City. I was actually born at Balboa Hospital down there.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's my San Diego connection. But yeah, a lot of fam there. And
Yeah.
I've always gone and visited, but I didn't stay too long because also I was a young knucklehead, you know, and especially when I got a little bit older, you know, and you were there, like, so I would assume like 80s, 90s time period is, you know, growing up. You know, Filipinos, we, you know, they when you watch like Blood In, Blood Out, you know, a lot of gang stuff. A lot of people think like Hispanics like were really into the gang stuff, but if you really look into the roots, Filipinos was very early on the ones that kind of kicked it all off. And we actually had one of my close friends on, my buddy Mike, who was out there. He grew up and got into the gang stuff, and then his parents quickly moved him out of that area because they were afraid of just him, you know, just getting in that zone. My parents were a little bit of the same thing with me. Did that ever happen with you and with your parents?
Oh yeah, it's very prevalent. They I mean, that was part of growing up. I mean, you either had to choose, you know, red or blue, you know, cuz or blood. It was kind of crazy. It's like you know, it's crazy now. You can see that nowadays. If you see what people are rocking, you know, you could die for that, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like you know, as soon as the movie's Colors came out, it was wild. People were shooting each other, Filipinos on Filipinos, you know, gang banging, red and blue, you know, it's stupid. You know, it was brothers killing brothers, cousins killing cousins.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was whack. My parents definitely tried to get me out. They even flew me out to Alaska because I got caught up in the mix for a while.
Yeah.
I must admit. And then you know, they flew me out to Alaska to clean me out and get me away from all these people. And you know, definitely threw me into, you know, different systems to try and get me clean and stuff, which did help.
Yeah.
And you know, that's what parents are for, to lead you in the right way. And you know, they tried their best, the best they knew they could. And you know, that's how it all happened.
I dig it, man. I appreciate that, man. You know, sometimes it's difficult to share, but then I like to bring it up because we can all change and become different people, like for myself and like for yourself. You know what I'm saying? We're representative of that fact. You can be wild and you can be crazy, get it out your system, but then, you know, there comes a time where you got to change. So, you know, for at that moment, so, you know, actually I want to take a pause then. So for any cat that's maybe watching this, that sees it, my man, Mike Pablo, PST gear is on the ShoPowSho. What is something you'd want to say to yourself, maybe, even if it was you watching this, to a young head that's probably kind of maybe mixed up in that, you know, maybe what they should do, or just some kind of words of enlightenment that you would want that young cat to know?
Oh man, just listen, man. People are out there telling you stuff and listening. That you got to listen, just listen, really listen to what they're trying to tell you, because people are trying to help you and lead you into the right direction. And, you know, sometimes as younger kids, you think you know it all, but people have already been through it. So you got to listen to the people who've already been through it and just listen.
You know? Oh yeah, the OGs. You know what I'm saying? We're like the OGs now, Mike. So you know, I try to impart as much as I can, and I'm sure you're doing the same, man. I think it's beautiful. So I would assume then, so with that, because like you said, you got into DJing and dancing and everything. Like for myself, that was kind of like my way out, was getting into my creativity. I started, you know, writing and penciling, started getting into music a little bit. I had like a little boys quartet. I was telling the ladies I had like a little Boys to Men kind of like quartet group. We would sing like Shy, Silk, Jodeci, because I'm an old head, you know. So it was like that old school 90s R&B. So how did what did you get into? Like you're saying, DJ, what led to that, to kind of maybe get you out of this mix of some of that gang shit?
Oh man, yeah, it's just the music and the availability to provide for yourself and be around a good group of friends that can, you know, I mean, we're a part of a movement, you know. Filipino DJs were big, you know, when we were coming up. You know, everybody that was a good DJ, you know, just happened to be Filipino, or they hung around Filipinos. I mean, that's kind of a fact, you know, of hip hop. You know, I mean, you know, we kind of paved the way for other DJs, and you know, a lot of, we inspired to be like other DJs that were there, who was out there at the time. There was Rakim was big, DJ Jazzy Jeff, Run DMC, look up to those kind of people. And then, we'd make it better. We'd turn it up and, make it our own, which was pretty cool.
So how'd you learn it? So did you like buy turntables for yourself? Like, how did you like kind of get the ear for that? How'd you like step into that?
Man. We always had practice days. I mean, we had a group of our friends that would always get together, and we all love hip hop. So we'd get our turntables together and all of our equipment, and we'd start buying equipment and practicing every week and doing gigs. Doing gigs every week, and then parties and clubs. And eventually, in the latter years, I did DJ for a wedding. I was just a wedding DJ for like 10 years, which, wasn't bad for $200 an hour, but, it's kind of like, we're kind of like ended for me because I got into the clothing after that.
Okay. What do you think makes a good DJ, bro? Like, do you think you have to have an ear, technique? Music selection
and crowd play. You gotta read the crowd. And you gotta play what makes people, make them dance, But it's definitely music selection, for sure.
Okay, I feel that
music selection. I mean, there's so much dope music out. I mean, you just know which one's gonna, hit.
Okay. Well, here's a quick test question. 1999. You got to drop a record. What's gonna make them hit the floor? What's gonna make them hit the floor right now?
That's rough right now.
What's a go-to?
Shoot, I'd still bring it back to the early 90s. I'd play like 93 till Infinity started off. Maybe some, Special Ed or some, some Mobb Deep,
Okay.
But yeah, it's kind of like, each crowd is different,
All right, cool. Very true. That's a hard question because that's very true. You got to really check the pulse of the crowd and the people in the crowd. So I thought I'd throw a curveball at you real quick.
Yeah.
So all right, let's get back to culture. Growing up, connecting with yourself. Were you in a very Filipino type household, or were you in a very assimilated household? Were you proud of your heritage? Because sometimes what we found is you get embarrassed by being the one that has to bring the stinky food to the cafeteria, and people are like, what? When it's the best shit in the world, and it's for yourself, it's the best shit in the world, but you get embarrassed because everybody else is like, what is that? Or what? That smell wrong. Like,
oh man.
Yeah.
Man, I had the most Filipino parents. I grew up the most Filipino household there is, from bangos to putis to, eating rice with your hands. And to be honest, I was really that disrespectful Filipino. I was so Americanized. I didn't, they were pushing us not to be Filipino at the time. And I had no inkling or wanted anything to do with the Filipino culture, which is kind of funny. I'd hate on my own people. And I didn't realize, until a later age it finally clicked, I don't know. I don't know what it is about the American kids growing up. They just weren't taught. Well, at least I wasn't, because I was just such a knucklehead. Took me a while, man. Like I kind of embarrassed when I was in my early 20s. Like, I didn't even want to be Filipino. You know what I mean? So
because you were getting bullied a little bit in the remarks?
Not even. Yeah. I mean, that could have been part of it, but it's just not. It wasn't cool at the time, I guess. But it was kind of like, man. But until it clicked and you realize what your parents did, and what you learn, what they all did to come over here, and you finally get it. Yeah. Which kind of struck me, And the more I learned about my culture, and the more I dived into it, it really let me respect it and just really cherish it. Because Filipinos are, they're all love, man. It's all about that. And if you weren't about that, then you were just hating, And kind of maturing and getting that mature feel out,
Dude, I appreciate you sharing that, and because that's also can be difficult to acknowledge that, realize that. Like for myself, I had to really give thanks to my mom because my dad is Irish American, English.
Right.
But like with my mom, I've always been very supportive of my people, but there's just parts that I know I was like, kind of like my man Dante Bosco in the debut, where like I didn't want to bring my friends in because it smelled like patisse, or my friends would make fun of my little barrel man statue. You know what I'm saying? Just the what's up with the wooden spork and foon, you know? So so when you come to these realizations, it's also being cognizant of it, and and apologizing to your parent in a way that might have done that, and then carrying it forward to like my child. Like I've made her so proud of herself. And how has that been for you? Actually, no, hold up. I'm gonna pause on that because I want to get to that in a little bit. Because you're a father, and institutionalizing that into your parenting. So we're back in high school with DJing. What were your goals, or what was your parents' goals for you? What kind of a student were you, and were you trying to make the decision of where you want to go, or did you go to college? And making that decision, because like you said earlier, your parents were like maybe want doctor, nurse, and that's kind of been a prototype that most of us have had on the show. Was that the same for you? I'm assuming as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. I did 2 years of college, got my associates, and then I knew, I had my family early, which I had at 21. I got married at 21, which I feel saved me. I was blessed with 4 girls. I raised 4 girls. I've been married 29 years. So that helped me develop as a father and a leader, and doing all that because, they're all self-sufficient now, so yeah.
Snaps on that, man. Congratulations. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So, okay. So where you did to school, how did PST get born? So I'm assuming you were saying like you're doing the DJing with Legend Entertainment, and then we were all of a sudden, how did PST Gear get born?
Well, PST Gear actually got born in Orlando, Florida, in a pool at the Swan. It was a Swan and Dolphin swimming pool in the jacuzzi at like 2 a.m. I asked my friend if he'd make a t-shirt, a Sun and Stars t-shirt, something like this, and then he said yeah. And at the time, he worked for Famous Stars and Straps, which is a really famous, t-shirt brand here across the nation. I think it was, who's the guy? It was, he's a drummer for something. His name was Barker, Travis Barker.
Shit.
Yeah. So he designed he was, one of the lead designers there. And he pretty much taught me the game of, his name is Chris Elias. And he helped me learn about the ins and outs of the t-shirt game, how dirty it was, and how to do things and how to do this and that. And, he was real integral in helping me get where we needed to be. And we're no longer together. Kind of had he had his family and we had our separate ways. But, I owe a lot to Chris, who helped me, really envision where this thing can go,
Dope.
So it started in Magic Kingdom, man. Disneyland, Disney World.
Dope. So what was the hardest aspect of like making this to kick off a streetwear brand, like getting artists, finding the suppliers, like what recommendations or just what things could you say to an aspiring street team artist or just designer label that's trying to start up?
Well, I always tried to have a 30-second pop. So if it had like a 10-second pop or a 5-second pop, you need to design to make that, when someone sees it, they're like, boom, I got to have that, bro. That's kind of what I was looking for in each design. And I tried to find really dope designers, which were from the Philippines. I tried to keep everything in the Filipino community, like a Filipino designer, a Filipino printer, Filipino accountant, a Filipino worker, whatever it is. I try to keep it that way. And now I just keep it in the family right now. And they're trying to run with it and, make it bigger and do everything. Because, you just got to keep believing when no one else believes, because there's a lot of people who say they believe and then just dropped off the side and went on their way. You know what I mean? So you got to believe, perseverance, and just keep going, man.
So true. So is this like a 24/7 operation for you and the whole family somewhat?
Yep. That's what we do full time. I've been doing it full time since 2008. And we started in 2006. So what year is it now? I don't even know. 2021.
Yeah, man.
Trying to avoid all this COVID stuff. COVID. Fuck COVID. I hate COVID. So
yeah. Has that affected you as a business, or because you have an online component? Have you been saved because you're so strong online, or?
Yeah, I mean, it helped us. I mean, we had a great year, but it's still, no festivals and
because you do a lot of shows and festivals from what I see, right?
Yep, we meet a lot of people. So I mean, networking and doing prints for other people. I mean, that kind of stopped, for the past 2 years, and we've just been doing it online. So yeah, it definitely affected us.
Well, I'm happy you're maintaining because also a lot of businesses did get shuttered, but I think I've like I said, I throw checks at y'all whenever I can. So
yes,
I would think your online game is strong, but I'm sure it was affected because again, a secondary component which just adds is that festival circuit, those conventions shows to just further market. And I know it's heavy on the West Coast, right?
Yeah. And all the stores that closed down, all the malls, all the stores we used to distribute, they were ghost towns or they shut down and can't deliver to them any longer,
Damn. Yeah.
It's kind of whack, but it all worked out and we're still here. Hopefully it gets better and not worse. And, we're just going to hope for the best and keep going.
Hell yeah, man. And I'm definitely cheering y'all on, man, because I need y'all in my life. I can't have PST girl go away from me. I got to still send y'all checks, man. Can you talk about like how the brand further expanded out from like, maybe like, I'm sure there's probably customers that don't want their name thrown out there, but like who has repped for PST gear, leading us into obviously who I want to talk about in a sec with Easy Mill. Because I remember being at New York Comic Con rocking my Stars and Sun necklace, and Apple the App was there with the P's, and I was like, "Yo, Apple!" I stood up and was holding my chain right like this. Right. I don't know if you see me right here with the Sun and Stars. It had my hat on, everything. I had all my PST shit on. And I was like, yo, Apple, what's good? Panoy's in the house. And he was like, yo, and he had his shit on too. And we was both, waving at each other, repping like this. So it was like a connection moment through PST gear, brother. So mad love to you on that, bro.
Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, thank you.
Definitely. So who are some people that you can throw some shine on, or maybe that support in the community, maybe?
Oh man, like Filipinos. I have my boy Rex Never Ready. We got to I work with him on doing some collab shows. Who else have I mean, I don't know. Just like so many Filipinos. There's just so many. I mean,
you got everybody, man.
Nump. Ruby Ibarra I hooked up with. She's rocking some stuff. I always give them stuff, because if I know the Filipino and I really like what they do and dig it, I'm always up in their face trying to meet them or take a picture with them, because I'm a fan of everyone Filipino that's doing some good stuff. So
hell yeah. FYI, your episode is gonna air after our Ruby Ibarra episode, so it's funny you mentioned that.
Yeah, I met her, Sandy. She's cool, man. She's like one of the best rappers I've ever seen or heard, and I'm like, man, you're here right here, and yeah, I even gave her a Supreme chair or something, or one of her friends. I was like, yeah, awesome. Then they donated it in San Diego, so it was pretty cool.
Dope. So Easy Mill, man.
Easy Mill.
How did that connection come to be? I remember peeping the video too, man, how he was on that mix and he was rocking your bandana that I got as well.
Man.
How was that, bro?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, man. I know you've been in and out, but it's all love, man. You're good.
Wait, let me get my... Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, my bad. Sorry, my battery's gonna... So
it's all good. So the Easy Mill connection.
Easy Mill connection. So, wow, that was the easy one. Like, I sell my stuff on eBay too. And he was trying to find something to rep, and he bought a bandana, and it was kind of funny. I saw his name on there. It said Ezekiel Miller, and it was, easy meal. And then I was wondering why is this going to him? And then anyhow, I sent him a bandana, and then I seen him on YouTube, and a whole bunch of friends called me, "Yo, man, I see this young rapper. He's hot, man, and he's rocking your rag." And so we went through all the information, and I got his phone number through his information through Instagram, I believe. And I believe my daughter contacted him through Instagram, and I met up with her management, and then we just started clicking from there. They liked the stuff that we had, and they started promoting us, and they were making Filipinos real proud, and what they do. And that's what we did. Got
Hell
together.
Yeah.
We're still making stuff for him. I know he's busy. He signed his new contract with his distribution deal, and I know he's been working on his album, and then he just had a recent concert. But we're always trying to make new stuff for him, and get it out to his fan base, which is pretty deep. I mean, he got a really loving fan base, and they really support and take pride in Easy Mill, man.
Hell
really
yeah,
love what he.
Yeah, man. When I saw I forgot he was doing a freestyle on some radio show and rocking the bandana, and then that kind of like went viral, and then everybody was like, "Yo, yeah, that's your stuff." And then I saw y'all connect. That was just so beautiful, man. I love our people. I love that connectivity and that culture and that representation, that pride that brings us all together. And like I said, I have so many moments rocking your stuff, and everybody, yo, how do I cop that? How do I cop that? So I sent many a cats your way besides myself to get the gear, man. So I'm just a super fan. I'm wilding that I'm talking to you, brother, because I really appreciate that you've created this line that just brings back so many memories for myself. And it just makes me take pride in who I am. And then I'm showing, it's like a flag. You know what I'm saying? Well, it is a flag because we're rocking the flag too, the sun and stars elements, but it's just like, man, it's just a feeling, you know what I'm saying? And I just feel like I'm set when I have a piece of yours on me when I'm at an event, man. And I can't thank you enough immensely for that, man, for just that energy that I feel when I'm rocking your gear, bro. So going forward, man, where are you trying to go? What can we expect? Just further, like from PST gear, anything you want to throw some shine on? Hopefully we're going to climb up out of this pandemic. I know it helps with business to do more shows and conventions because that's, that further audience that's going to build your brand up and just get back to the people, that don't maybe obviously go online, especially those aunties and lolas, they're not as computer savvy as the younger generation is. So I know you probably miss out on a lot of sales because you're not doing the markets and shows like that.
Yeah.
So what can we expect from my man, Michael Pablo?
I mean, we do season to season. We always have monthly releases. We're just trying to keep it fresh, man. Like trying to be the new trendsetters or, putting out something that's really fresh for all cultures, of course, really specializing in the Filipino community because that's how we started and that's our roots. But yeah, man, we're working on winter right now. So it's, blankets, hoodies, rags, freaking socks, freaking zip up sweaters, just, all that winter stuff, man, gloves, just some crazy stuff. And we really want to just do some stuff that, no one's really doing, and yeah.
I love it. I just thought of an artist question for maybe a young artist that's watching this that is a fan of your brand. Are you ever looking and recruiting young artists? Is there ways artists can get with you to maybe, get their designs made up with you?
Oh yeah. I make for a lot of brands. I mean, I do a lot of brand work for different brands. I design and, go to cradle to grave with them as far as making designing, making the item, and of course them selling it eventually to a customer because a lot of people really like some of the stuff that we come out with, and they ask just to do some work. All they have to do is reach out, hit me up on my Facebook or my Instagram, and we definitely look at it every day, me and my team, and we get back to you right away. So we definitely collaborations. We definitely want to do your work. We definitely are out there to help you and, get your customers the freshest stuff too. Because if they ain't buying our stuff, it's okay if there's another fresh band that's out there, at least support them. There's so much game out there, and people realize that there's endless game. You just have to put yourself out there.
I love that. And I gotta to tell you something. So that question was for my young artists, but it was also a little bit of a question for myself. So for people that have been watching ShoPowSho, you kind of heard it a little bit at the beginning. I say I'm Kuya P with the ShoPowSho, the Adobro, the Babinka Boy, the leader of the Hala Hala homies in the center gang, is because a lot of people have been asking me when I started this up is, hey man, are you gonna do merch for ShoPowSho? Because they know how much I love the culture and the pride. And I tell them, well, as of right now, just go over to PST Gear, give my brother Michael Pablo some money, because that's where I'm rocking all the time, 24/7. But when I can, I will drop a ShoPowSho merch line to rep for the culture. So I want to holler at you to maybe, do a collab on something, man, if we can, or if at least you can give me some points to start up the ShoPowSho merch line. Because
let's just start. That's, the beginning is starting. You just have to start. You just got to say yes.
Okay.
Once you say yes, let's do it. Do it.
All right. Well, definitely, man, because there's some people asking for ShoPowSho shirts and amazing Ate shirts and Dinner Go On Destroyers, Sisig Supremes. We're a lot of food-based type shit right now, because you know how we love the food, bro.
You already got it. All those things you have behind them, all the Marvel stuff and all those nice things put together. Man, you got the same creativity they do, even better. And man, you got game, man. Your voice is
I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that. So yeah, man, definitely would love to talk to you about that further. But with anything you drop, man, I'm definitely going to support it. And if you ever want to come through to highlight anything that you're doing, you're part of our ShoPowSho family now, man, by coming on. And like I said, long time fan and just excited to be talking with you. I'm going to throw it to Miss Kataphorric with our last question out the gate.
Yeah, our last question, since we are the nerds of color, we always like to ask what our interviewees are nerdy about. What is it that you could give a TED talk on you are just absolutely into?
Oh man, like your Cleopatra over there, I'm into Marvel, and the Marvel universe and comics and all that that's nerdy to me, and that I love. I've been a comic fiend since I was freaking 6. So I just watched Shang-Chi last night in 4D. I was like, man, it's gonna be a wild season for all of us, and I really love comics. I love the Marvel universe. I love Disney. I just love the cute stuff, man, and all the hard Marvel stuff. Really turns a good one for me.
I love it. Actually, because when you said Disney, that reminded me again that you have your daughters that you have bringing them up, and I was talking about culture earlier. How? I'm sorry, this is adding another question. I know that we said it was going to be our last question, but just with your daughters and then with your business, what have they infused with you in regards to the energy by having them be around and maybe also an involvement with the brand and leaving that to them, taking that into a whole nother arena?
My girls are my rock, dude. They
I love it.
Everything, like design. A lot of my daughter Ray, she designs everything. My daughter Ariel helps me run festivals, and Kayla helps me run all that online shop. And I have, they're really the supporting factor, and my wife always helps me. And then man. But they're all hip hop, bro. They all dance. They're all into B-girling. They have their own businesses. My oldest one has her own family. They're really growing, and they, when they see me doing and working for yourself, who wants to work for anybody? Because you don't want to answer to anybody. You want to answer to yourself, and I think that's one great thing is they can, once they learn you can answer to yourself, you don't have to get anyone's authority or anyone's approval, because you can make those own decisions for yourself. And I think that's success right there.
Yo, I love that, man. You just inspired me right there, man, because I love seeing what you're doing, man. We're friends on Facebook and the gram. I see you doing your bike riding, doing your thing, and just you shining with every drop that you put out, man. I'm just so happy for you, bro. I'm honored and inspired. And just, again, thank you for everything you're doing, brother.
Oh, man. Love you, man. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Boom. There you go. Michael Pablo, PST Gear. We had a little bit of phone troubles at the end because he, as you see, he was walking around and on his phone the whole time. So I think we lost a little bit of power because the man's so lit. We'll have him back whenever he's available again. So there you go. Michael Pablo, PST Gear. Ladies, it was a little bit of a fanboying session for me. I'm sure y'all noticed that. I know it was for myself because I was like, I didn't let the ladies get in here or there, but I couldn't hear you because I think, again, we're like having a little bit of troubles with the connection. But Michael Pablo, PSC Gear, what did you think of his story and how did y'all connect with that?
I thought it was a great, like, nicely inspiring story, you know, with a successful man with a long-standing marriage who's a great father and has this awesome representative brand, and I'm gonna buy a lot of these clothes.
Yeah. It was just cool how he, you know, kept it in the family. Like his employees, Filipino designers from the Philippines, Filipino designers, Filipino accountant, somebody's parents.
I love that he pointed that out. That was beautiful.
It's so Filipino.
So Filipino.
Yeah, it was just really cool again to see like a representative brand and to see how, you know, how that came up and how he made his dreams come true.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Very different type of a guest than we've had before. We've had other like artist designers like Lola and Kenneth Tan with the Lola and oh my God, I'm fucking up the title of what is their yes, it is the Lola and Kenneth collection, right? Yeah. But with like what he's doing and how beautiful that is, the connection he has with his Lola and the line that is adjacent to that, along with the artwork that you can purchase and everything. But it's like it's brands like that connect with the culture. And like I was illustrating to him, it like I'll never forget being at New York Comic Con, rocking my PST gear. And then seeing Apple the App on stage with the peas, and then he had the chain on, and I was like, "Yo," showing my stuff and was throwing that up so he could see that I'm rocking the same sun and stars representing our culture. And he did the same thing, and we were matching up and we were giving props. He was like, "Yo, when you come up, man, holla at me." And when I did come up, you know, we gave pounds and everything. It was just that connection through the gear that just was that self-love and pride that, you know, I think a lot of us can relate to that, you know, with when you see anybody. I'm sure when y'all were in college, I know you, Tina, with your sorority sisters and some of the stuff you do with your line sisters, or if you like see other people rocking the Philippine gear or whatever, or you can connect with that. And you as well, Kat, with ODU, because there's a lot of Pinoys down in ODU. I know because I ran through that school quite a bit back in my day. You know, but it's just what brings us together. And when you feel right and you're rocking something, you know, there's a feeling, I'm sure, like my wife will say when she's rocking a pair of Manolos or whatever, you know, a certain shoe or whatever that just kind of just gives you that extra bit of energy or confidence. That's the word I was looking for. And that's what I felt with his gear. And that's why I give them so much money. And I can't thank him enough for just those moments that were birthed out of rocking his clothing. You know what I'm saying? So this was a lot of fun for me.
Yeah. It was really cool.
So yeah, man, another great one, man. A different interview, and hopefully we can have more amazing brands, and hopefully we can also get them to sponsor the show too. Because and like I said, I want to get our merch line dropping because everybody's been asking me, P, when are you gonna get this merch line? You keep saying send a gang and all that shit. When are you gonna have the send a gang shirts? Like, yeah, it's crazy. I'm working on it. I actually have some designs that were worked, and I'm rocking with artists out of the Philippines, so I'm keeping it PI all the way through. I got a actually cute shirt that I can't wait to show you two because it actually encompasses the three of us. Yeah, I'm working on it, but it's going to be a surprise when I see it. So when y'all see it. So anyway, but that was a fun one. And sorry for y'all that are watching this, some of the connection issues that were happening. My man was walking around his storage house, but that was a fun one. And the ladies, couldn't hear when they were trying to get a question in. So I do apologize to y'all both, just working connection issues today, but that was fun for me. I was really inspired by that. But yeah, a lot of good lessons learned. I love that he's keeping it Filipino and that Also on a personal note, yeah, I was a young hood rat. How you can be a young hood rat, but how you can also come up out of that and do good for yourself and for the people and for the community. So I really appreciate Michael sharing that story, because sometimes we're not always willing to share that side of us. But I think it's important that it can be that people can hear that so that they know there's a way out. Because sometimes people that are caught up in that don't see a way out. And I want to, I love that he shared that, you can find a way. And so that was beautiful, man. Ates, let's get up out of here. Another fun one until our next episode. How can they reach out to y'all lovely ladies?
At Kataphorric on Instagram or Twitter. I also have a TikTok, and we have a TikTok. And if you want a little more behind the scenes footage, you can always sponsor us on Patreon or just buy us a coffee.
Tina!
I'm Viva Valentina. You can find me at viva.valentina on TikTok and Instagram. And I'm also Viva Valentina XO on Twitter and chess.com.
There you go. Mahal kita, my amazing Ates. Love you both so very much. Make sure you shoot them all a follow. Your boy Kuya P. You can follow me at Strange Since 1977, as well as at Temple for East. The legend Kuya P on TikTok. Over at the Nerds of Color, giving you that pop culture with a POC perspective, and of course, ShoPowSho over there, and of course at the NRW and at New Release Wednesday, where nerds rule the world. Kataphorric, Viva Valentina, Kuya P, another ShoPowSho in the can. Michael Pablo, check out pstgear.com to get all the gear. Shout out to my brother. I'll have the information in the description as well. All the love. Another episode in the can. Mahakita, salamat.
Nakita-din.
Boom boom.
Don't wait.